how to play the easiest 2 chords on guitar and then get you playing your first song by the end of this video in under 10 minutes. So if you've never even played a song before, this is the ideal place to start, and let's get you straight in for a close-up and learn how to play these 2 easy chords. So the first chord we're going to be learning is the E major chord, also known as an E chord, and this is where we need to place our fingers to be able to play it.
I don't even have that chord.
Now, if your guitar isn't in tune, it doesn't really matter where you put your fingers on the guitar, it's not going to sound right. There is a video of mine in the description below where you'll find a video showing you exactly how to tune your guitar with and without a guitar tuner.
We gotta tune
So
this
check
bitch.
out that video first if you suspect that something isn't sounding right here, but I'm going to talk you through a couple of other bits of the guitar before we get fully started. So these metal strips going down the guitar here are your frets, and going across are the strings. We number the strings thinnest to thickest, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and each fret, it's the area between the metal strips that we call fret 1, fret 2, and fret 3. Anytime we place a finger on a fret, we really want it to be to this side of the fret, so the side nearest to you, up against the metal strip, but not on it. So if I wanted to place my finger on first finger, first fret, it would be placed here rather than in the middle, and we also want to be right on the tip of your finger like this. For this first chord, the E major chord, we need that first finger to be on the 3rd string at that first fret. So that's just here, right on the tip of our finger, and we are pressing between our thumb and first finger. My thumb is directly behind where my first finger is on the guitar, just here. The middle finger needs to be at the 2nd fret of the 5th string, so string 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 3rd finger, otherwise known as the ring finger, goes here, directly underneath at the same fret on the string below. So just one recap, these fingers are placed, finger number 1, or the index finger, middle finger, and the 3rd finger here. The little finger, it's best to keep it as close to the 3rd finger as possible rather than shooting off and doing its own thing. This is where we want to place it here. For this particular chord, we do want to strum all 6 strings and make sure that they're all heard. So let's do that now and strum our E major chord. Now that sounds like it should sound, and hopefully yours sounds the same. If not, your guitar may be out of tune, so check out that tuning video. However, we also want to make sure that all 6 strings are ringing out, by which we want to pick the thickest to the thinnest string, so string 6 to 1. And if they all sound like that, then we're doing it correctly. Possibly, one of the strings sounds a little bit like this. We get a little bit of either buzzing or it's not ringing out at all like this. Now, there are 2 common reasons that that can be the case. The first thing is you need to be at this side of the fret, as I said at the start of the video. If they're in the middle of the fret, that may not ring out. They all want to be at this side of the fret, not at the far side. And then each finger also needs to be right on the tip, not flat. Now this is common because whenever we hold things, say if I was just holding this guitar neck to pick it up, we'd grip it like this. But this is not how we press down notes on a stringed instrument. We need to be right on the tips of our fingers and make sure that this joint in our fingers is bent and kind of curled over so that each tip of the finger is at 90 degrees to the fret. And when those 2 things are the case, when we're at this side of the fret and on the tips of our fingers, it's just a case of getting that right amount of pressure down, but with the right finger placement, it may be a little bit less than you think. Now, even I, at this point, have some lines on the end of my fingers. This is normal. We do have to press down, a decent amount to get the note ringing out, but try not to press down any more than you need to. Try and find that sweet spot. The second chord we're going to cover in this video is the A major chord, and with this chord we can play any one of 10 songs. As I say, there'll be a song at the end of this particular video but there are a number of songs, 10 songs, that are played only using these two chords on my website, and the link to that is also in the description. So to play the A major chord, it's best to start off on the E major chord that we already know. Now we need to keep this first finger down but lift the other two away. And this is really important. This is going to be our anchor finger, because when we're learning chords, the hard thing isn't necessarily playing one chord, it's the change between. So what we're going to do is keep this first finger down but slide it over to the second fret, and this time we want to be around in the middle of the fret, because we're going to place the middle finger above it at that same second fret and the third finger directly below it. And this is the A major chord. You may have seen this chord played like this. However, if this is the first time you've ever picked up a guitar before, it's going to be incredibly difficult to change between any chords, and these included. So we're making this as easy as possible by keeping contact with the fretboard at all times and using that first finger as an anchor point. So this is the A major chord that we're going for. Let's place this first finger at the third string, second fret, 1, 2. Middle finger goes directly above it, and third finger below it. And it's best to keep that first finger around in the middle of the fret this time, and this time only really, so that we can fit the other two in. And with this particular chord, we want to strum from string 5. And this is what the A major chord should sound like. To check that all those strings are ringing out, we want to pick again from the thickest to the thinnest, but we're going to start from string 5. There is more opportunity for strings not ringing out on this one, so again, try and get them as far towards you as possible, and keep right on the tips. That is the best way to get them ringing out, but you may have to press on just a little bit harder on this chord to get those strings ringing out. One more time, strum.
Okay.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Pick each string and strum. So to change between those chords, we need to keep that first finger down at all times and change between them. So if we go back to the E major chord now, and just give it one single strum of all 6 strings, we keep the first finger down, slide to the second fret, middle finger above, third finger below, and strum. And then to change back, the first finger stays down, slide it back to that first fret, middle finger above, third finger below, and strum. Again, so we're on that first chord that we looked at now, the E chord. So we keep the first finger down, we slide it to the second fret for the second chord that we looked at, middle finger above, third finger below, and strum. Try and strum from the 5th string, so missing out the thickest string. But if you do accidentally catch that thickest string, it's okay for now, we're just learning. First finger stays down, we move back to the 1st fret for our first chord, which is the E major, and strum, and that's our E major. Now you may wish to pause the video here so that you can have a
Okay, so I can't play this like I play the electric.
longer practice between those two chords, changing between the E and the A chord. Remember to keep your first finger down at all times.
I have like no room here with this. starting to piss me off, man. I ain't got no fucking room. Yeah, I have no fucking room right here. No fucking room. I couldn't even play if I wanted to right now. I ain't got no fucking room.
And the first chord we looked at has your first finger on the first fret. And then chord number 2, the A chord, first finger, second fret, middle finger above, third finger below, and strum. And you're wanting your fingers to take around a second to go to each chord to move on to the second part, which is basically going straight for our first song, which is a song called For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield. This song has just these 2 chords, and we have to play each chord for a bar of each. To do this, we need to understand about bars and beats. The beat is whatever you would nod your head to when your favourite song comes on. So when you're kind of grooving along to a song and tapping your foot and enjoying it, you're tapping your feet or nodding your head to the beat. This is an even pulse throughout the song, and it generally goes to a count of 4. So an even count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is repeated throughout an entire song evenly. It's that count of 4 that we call a bar. So the simplest strumming pattern we can do for any song is just strumming on the beat, and we're going to strum each chord in this particular song 4 times. So we strum the E chord 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and keep that first finger down when we're going to change to the second chord, which is the A chord, and then strum this 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need to change back to the E chord and do this in a loop for around a minute. And if you've never heard that particular song that we're going for, the link is in the description to a YouTube video of the song, so you can have a quick listen to it to hear what we're going for. And you should pretty distinctly hear this rhythm guitar part throughout the entire song. Keeping the strumming hand going while changing chord is undoubtedly the trickiest part of learning songs on guitar. However, this anchor finger, keeping the first finger down, makes it a much easier task and helps us going forward to learn the other chords that we're going to be learning in the coming days. So drilling this change is so important rather than learning more chords. So many beginners get a book full of 10 chords or 100 chords and try and learn them, but it's mastering the change between them that's going to get you the end goal of being able to play real songs as soon as possible. And hopefully this will be one that you can play just in a few minutes now by following me. So let's start with the E major chord, the first chord we covered in this video, and we're going to strum this 4 times. And as soon as we've done that, as soon as we strum that 4th strum, we want to change immediately to the A chord as swiftly as possible. Now, if this takes a few attempts, and that is totally fine, because this is the end goal of this first video, of this day 1 of this 10-day guitar course. So if it's a little struggle at first, that's understandable, because it might be the first thing that you've ever done. Go easy on yourself. Allow this trickiest part of this, the chord changes, to bed in and for you to get used to them before you put too much pressure on yourself. So let's play along together really slowly now, and let's have a go at playing our first song, For What It's Worth by Buffalo. Ready on our E chord. In 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then change to the A chord and begin strumming again. 1, 2, 3. Back to the E. Changing back, and 1, 2, 3, 4. First finger stays down, we change to the A. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pull.
And it's a $10 fucking joint. We ain't trying to waste it.
There. So now's the time to take stock with how you're doing. If you need to pause the video just briefly one time again.
You have it listed.
Alright, stay away from those.
You type it in, and then you go digging.
You literally just drag it in, and it'll be an audio.
To just do some individual changes, which will drill that change a little more often to help you get used to it more. Maybe take a quick break to rest your fingers a little bit because you might have big lines and they might be quite sore. That's understandable and totally normal in the beginning. And when you feel up to it, play this video from this point one more time. And this time, we're going to try and get those spaces between the chord changes as quick as possible. And the goal is just to keep our right hand strumming evenly. No matter what chord we're playing, or whether there's a change or not, we're just going to try and keep this chord hand strumming, okay? So from the E chord, play along with me one last time in 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, then to A.
This is my old guitar, so it's out of tune. I got nails, so they keep like grinding on it. My neck's actually broken right there. Gives off a funny tune. Cool.
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. Cool. It's, stop pressing. I need hand secrets.
Today I'm recording vocals, then transforming them with Autotune's AI-powered plugin, Metamorph. This is a simple yet creative tool to take...
Hey guys, Artom407 here and welcome back to my channel. The most common complaint I get from my students is my left hand hurts, my left hand feels tight, or my left hand gets tired. Today, let's dive into exactly why this happens and how you can easily fix it. If you're...
Damn, my computer died. Man. Blah, 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 blah. This shit's out, Tim.